We talked about this during Teed Up. Willie O'Ree. He broke the color barrier in 1958. It wasn't as notable because Jackie Robinson had done so a decade prior in the MLB. But then you are on a team that has 5 black guys on it. Can you talk about how important that was and kind of how big of a deal it was for you guys?
Honestly, we didn't think of it as too big of a deal at the time. I remember, I forget where we were, but it was somewhere in the U.S. In the USA Today. There was a big, huge article about all of us, and so I was like, wow, this is kind of a special thing to be part of. Sean Brown and I always used to kid because we're half black that there's not 5, there's just 3. So, but no, it was a lot of fun to have Greersy and Big George and Sean Brown and I and Anson Carter. So it was a fun time for sure.
And you and I were just talking off camera that you were also teammates with Freddie Brathwaite, who's a goalie as well. So to have 2 black goaltenders on a team, but as you were saying, you would only cross paths in the airport.
Yeah, well, Bill Ranford was the number 1. We were kind of the number 2s at that point. So it was bittersweet. It was nice to see Freddie on the way up, but really bad to see him on the way down.
What was your first NHL game like? Were you super nervous going into it?
I didn't get a chance to be nervous because it was the first lockout year. So we got called up late and we were kind of black acing it. So it was essentially practice, Arby's, Mill Woods golf course at the time, and then back to bed. And so I think Billy was hurt, Freddie was in, Freddie struggled, and I went in right after. So Ron Lowe was the coach, and he didn't really tell you if you were going in or not. He waited to the last possible second. So I thought there was a chance, but then when he didn't talk to me that much in between periods, I was like, okay, I'm probably not going in. But then he said, you're in. And against the Leafs, we made a strong comeback, but I think Matt Sundin ripped one between my legs late, and that kind of ended our little minor surge into that game.
So, but like you said, you get a taste of it and you want more. But what were the next few years for you like? Not being up all the time, was it a bit of a struggle? And what did you kind of envision your future in the NHL looking like?
Well, I thought it was all Stanley Cups and Vezinas at the start, but no, it's a struggle. I always told myself, well, later on in my career, I told myself I was always good enough to get there, but not good enough to stay. And it's the best league in the world for a reason. And to get there is one thing, but to stay and be like a career NHLer is something else.
Absolutely. Okay, we have more to ask you on that as well. But first, let's get back to the golf.